Across large parts of Asia, the monsoon is a life giver. It replenishes rivers, nourishes crops, and sustains millions of people. But this year, the monsoon has become a force of unimaginable destruction. What should have been a season of life has turned into a torrent of death and despair, unleashing a catastrophe on an epic scale. This isn't just a weather report. It's a story of a continent grappling with a crisis, a race against time where every minute counts. The numbers are staggering and hard to comprehend. The death toll across multiple countries has tragically soared past 1,000. And with every passing day, that number continues to climb. We're talking about entire communities submerged, homes swept away as if they were made of paper, and families torn apart in the blink of an eye. This isn't a localized flood. It's a sprawling disaster affecting millions of people from the Equatorius to the coastal plains of South and Southeast Asia. The rains have been described as unprecedented, biblical, and relentless, pushing infrastructure, emergency services, and human resilience to their absolute limits. So, what makes this year's monsoon so exceptionally deadly? Experts point to a perfect storm of factors. First, the sheer volume of rainfall has been off the charts. Climate change is a major suspect here. A warmer atmosphere holds more moisture, leading to more intense and erratic downpours. Instead of steady, predictable rain, we're seeing massive, concentrated deluges that overwhelm natural drainage systems and human-made defenses. Rivers that normally swell during the monsoon have transformed into raging, unstoppable torrents, bursting their banks and swallowing everything in their path. It's like an entire season's worth of rain falling in just a few days. But it's not just about the weather. Decades of rapid, often unplanned urbanization have played a critical role. Hillsides have been stripped of forests for construction, wetlands have been filled in to build new neighborhoods, and riverbeds have been encroached upon. These natural sponges, which would have absorbed much of the excess water, are gone. Now, when the rain comes, it has nowhere to go but rushing through streets and homes. In many bustling cities, outdated and poorly maintained drainage systems are quickly overwhelmed, turning urban centers into murky, impassable lakes. This combination of extreme weather and vulnerable landscapes is a recipe for disaster. Let's zoom in on the human cost, because behind every statistic is a personal tragedy. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night to the sound of rushing water, with only seconds to grab your children and flee to higher ground, leaving everything you own behind. This is the reality for countless families. Rescue operations are in full swing, but they are fraught with challenges. Choppers struggle to fly in torrential rain, and boats can't navigate debris-choked waters. Many areas are completely cut off, leaving residents stranded without food, clean water, or medical supplies. The immediate aftermath is a struggle for survival, but the long-term consequences are just as daunting. The floods have contaminated water sources, creating a massive risk of waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid. Health systems already strained are bracing for a secondary crisis. Then there's the economic devastation. Millions of acres of crops have been destroyed, wiping out the livelihoods of farmers who depend on this single harvest for their entire year's income. This isn't just a loss of money, it's a threat to food security for the entire region. Rebuilding homes, roads, and bridges will take years and billions of dollars that these economies can ill afford. The stories emerging from the flood zones are both heartbreaking and inspiring. We hear of neighbors forming human chains to rescue those trapped by the current, of strangers sharing their last bits of food, and of rescue workers risking their own lives to pull people from the churning water. This incredible display of community and resilience is a powerful reminder of the strength of the human spirit, even in the darkest of times. But they shouldn't have to be this resilient. This isn't just a natural disaster, it's a wake-up call. As the floodwaters slowly begin to recede in some areas, the monumental task of recovery begins. International aid organizations and local governments are mobilizing resources, but the scale of the need is immense. They require everything from emergency shelter and food packets to medical teams and water purification tablets. For those of us watching from afar, it's easy to feel helpless. But there are ways to contribute. Supporting reputable international charities working on the ground can make a real difference. It's providing life-saving assistance to those who have lost everything. Looking ahead, the conversation must shift from just response and recovery to prevention and adaptation. This year's monsoon is a terrifying glimpse into our climate-changed future. We can't stop the rain, but we can be better prepared. This means investing in sophisticated early warning systems that give communities more time to evacuate. It means building smarter infrastructure, like elevated shelters and robust flood barriers. And most importantly, it means restoring our natural defenses by reforesting hillsides and protecting our wetlands. We need policies that prioritize sustainable development over short-term gains. This tragedy is a stark reminder that climate change isn't a distant threat. It's here, now, and its effects are devastating. The people bearing the brunt of this crisis are often those who have contributed the least to the problem. What's happening in Asia is a global issue that requires a global response. We need collective action to slash carbon emissions and help vulnerable nations adapt to a world that is becoming more dangerous and unpredictable. The monsoon will return next year and the year after that. The question is, will we be ready? Or will we be counting the dead all over again? The lives lost this season must not be in vain. They must be the catalyst for meaningful, lasting change. Thank you for watching. If you found this report informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth coverage of critical global issues. Stay safe.